I had a fantastic time being a page 3 model. I started modelling at 15, not topless because that would have been illegal. I started doing beauty modelling, and then at 18 decided to become a Sun page 3 girl, and I just had a ball. I didn't get good grades at school, I can't lie. I probably would have ended up in a deadbeat job, if I'm honest, and instead I've seen the world. I've had some fantastic opportunities and experiences. I got to meet some fantastic other strong females, and I really enjoyed it.
So what do you think about the fact that there is no longer a topless model on page 3?
I found it I don't find it sad that there's not a topless model on page 3 anymore. I find it's sad the way that the feminist groups have gone about it. I think that it's absolutely appalling that we're faced with judgment still. We're being judged that we've been exploited, when actually it's totally not the case. I thought that feminism, being a feminist, was about finally getting to a point where women in this day and age can do what they want and make their own choices.
So you in no way feel demeaned or objectified by being a page 3 model?
100% not. It was a job, it was a choice, it was a career. I enjoyed it, and I find it shocking that that would no longer be these young women's choice anymore. You've got page 3 girls waking up today with no job. How can that be being celebrated?
But the bigger picture is something that even Rupert Murdoch has tweeted about. He said it is old-fashioned now. It doesn't reflect the values that society has in this day and age.
He didn't tweet that. He tweeted that it was old-fashioned. If that's what some people think, then I can understand that. But page 3 still is enjoyed. There's still uproar. I've still gone round loads of news stations today talking about it because people care. If it was that old-fashioned and out of date, people wouldn't care about it. People care because it's not just the topless girl on the page, it's the issue. It's the fact that women have spent their time and their effort campaigning to get this removed, but when there's so many bigger issues.
Well, they see that there is a bigger issue here. That one of the things that happens in the Sun newspaper is that the only time that you often see a woman is on page 3, and she's not wearing a top. You'll see men running the country doing other things, but this is how women are perceived, and the impression this gives people, particularly young minds as well, is that this is how you should see young women.
I totally agree with what you're saying, but I disagree with the fact that it's the only time women are seen. I mean, the editor of the Sun was a female. That says, that proves my point. It's not. The Sun aren't a sexist newspaper. They had a female running their newspaper, and there's quite often women MPs in there being pictured in their suits arguing about page 3.
You have 2 young boys, as I do.
Yeah.
What do you think that Topless Models, though, teaches your boys, the young children, about a woman's place in society?
I would say, firstly, the page 3 would be the best thing that my son could see in the Sun newspaper, if I'm honest. A female form in the way it was born, with the headlines that we're facing, what you was just talking about before you introduced me. There's so many other things that is a greater problem for him to see. What does it teach him? I don't think it teaches them anything, because me as a mother teaches my children about the value of women, and my sons have a great respect for women.
So does it not worry you that the image that they're seeing is a woman who is pretty perfect? This is the female body in its perfect form. It's not a very realistic portrayal of most women's bodies.
Actually, I disagree, because what I think the Sun have done very well over the last few years in particular is, one of their page 3 idol winners, I think her name's Lucy. Actually, I know her name's Lucy because I follow her on Twitter, and I'm sorry that I can't think of her surname. She's one of the larger page 3 girls, and she will quite often tweet herself about the fact that you don't have to be stick thin and perfect to be a model, and she's a larger, curvier shaped girl. It isn't perfect girls, it's girl next door.
One final question. Now we're seeing girls on page 3 that are wearing bikinis. Do you see there as being a huge difference between a topless model and a girl in a bikini?
There's no difference, and even from the blonde glamour model, I think that is absolutely ludicrous.